Good evening. Welcome. I'm Reverend Sarah Adams. I'm one of the ministers here at Universal Spirit Center. So I just want to welcome you and say good evening. Thank you for joining us, and thank you to those of you joining us online for this wonderful evening with Tobey and Breathwork. So just a brief introduction for those who aren't familiar with Universal Spirit Center. We are an all-inclusive place for spiritual growth, committed to facilitating experiences of divine love in ourselves and in each other for individual and global awakening. So we have a robust community that comes together on Sundays, but also through different classes. We also have a lot of social justice activities going on, and so it's a wonderful place to be. So anyway, I want to highlight a few announcements for anybody who's listening. We're currently doing some work to support refugees from Ukraine. So if we're looking for anyone who wants to host a refugee. So if anyone has a home or a space available, let us know. Myself and Lee are teaching spiritual practices class, which is about meditation, prayer, breath work, all sorts of spiritual practices, coming up on May 17th on Tuesdays. We are doing a toy drive for Eid. We're finishing up Ramadan right now, and Eid is like the celebration at the end of Ramadan, which includes like lots of feasts and gift giving. So we're doing a toy drive for children who would benefit from toys at the end of Eid. And then lastly, we have a poetry workshop with our in-house poet laureate, Pat Andrus, and that's 5 Mondays starting May 2nd. So just a few things to highlight. So anyway, I'm happy to welcome you here and happy to welcome whoever's online. And without further ado, I'll bring us into a little prayer, a little meditative space, and then I'll turn it over to Tobey. So let's just take a moment to center into our breath, into our bodies, feeling and sensing and knowing that infinite loving intelligence, that energy that animates and expresses as all things. And I just know that that divine expression is unfolding here and now together for this beautiful evening of breathwork. It's expressing through Tobey and all of the wonderful healing work that she facilitates. It's expressing through each person here and what they are receiving and how they are transformed. And it's expressing through everyone online now and in the future. So I'm so grateful for this divine intelligence, this loving wisdom that's having its way through us in this evening, that's perfectly gathered and orchestrated for our highest good. So knowing that all is well, that all is good, I can let it go and let it be, and with great thanksgiving. And so I do that by saying, and so it is.
And so it is.
And so without further ado, I'll introduce Tobey for our evening tonight.
Thank you, Sarah. That was beautiful. That was so beautiful. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Can we make sure this one's off? There's a little echo. Thank you. Welcome, everybody at home. Thank you for coming, for showing up for yourselves. And we have some new faces in person tonight, so thank you all for coming. And I know some of you are familiar with breathwork, and some of you, it is your first time. So that's very exciting. I like to call breathwork a portal to spirit. That spirit that is in each one of us. And as Sarah so aptly put it, that which animates us, that which breathes us. And breathwork is classically known as pranayama. Prana being that life force energy, the chi or ki that runs through all of us. And ayama is to expand. So pranayama is the expansion of life force energy. So there's some things that you may experience as the life force energy within you is waking up. So a lot of us, may be walking through life, doing the same routines that we always do, thinking the same thoughts, experiencing the same emotions, taking the same actions, speaking the same words. We're humans and we like routine, and our brains like routine. So this is a practice that can shake up the nervous system, that can shake up the thought processes, and it can wake up things that are dormant. Actually, I was just having a conversation with somebody before coming here, and he was telling me that he had a breathwork experience where he had a bad trip, he called it. And I said, oh, what happened? He said, well, all these emotions came up and I didn't know what to do with them. So I left, and I was scared to go back in because it was so emotional. And I was like, oh, wow, yeah, I can understand that, because it does. That's what I'm saying. It brings up stuff we may not be conscious of, and it can shake us out of our programming. And we may have new thought processes, new things that we say to people, and we're like, whoa, where did that come from? Because breathwork can help to create new neural pathways in our brain. So you may have emotions tonight. Is anybody afraid of that? Because that is very welcomed in this space. Emotions are what make us human. That's what differentiates us from the rest of the animal planet, right? Is the ability to have and express these emotions and connect them with our thoughts, right? Having the heart, the brain and the heart coherence. That's another story. I'm just going to leave that one there for you guys to think about. But so back to the emotions. So yes, you may experience emotions coming up. And if you do, that is a beautiful thing, because breath work is something it's a releasing agent. It's something that brings things up from the surface to come out. And I like to say, what's coming is going. If it's coming up to be healed, to be released, or to be processed. And as this gentleman was saying, he didn't know how to process those emotions. He didn't know what to do with them, so he shoved them back down. When we shove the emotions down, they have to go somewhere, because they're energy. And energy is never created or destroyed, it just changes form. So where does that energy in the form of emotions go? It gets stuffed into our nervous system, and it can show up as pain in our bodies, or disease, dis-ease. It can show up as negative looping thoughts. It can show up a lot of ways. And I used to have, when I was a teenager, I developed this low back pain when I was about 13. I don't know where it came from. I mean, I do now, but at the time I didn't know where it came from. But I had this back pain throughout my life, and I would have these periods where it would be so terrible, and I'd wake up and I couldn't get out of bed. I would just be sobbing in pain. And then one day I realized, oh my gosh, I haven't had back pain in a very long time. And I looked back, and I had a month or so prior to realizing that pain was released, I had an amazing spiritual experience where I had a really powerful emotional release of a lot of trapped energy. And that was at the beginning of my journey, where I was starting to understand how our thoughts and emotions affect our physical body. So all that to say is that you may experience some things tonight. So the emotions can come up, and just know that you are in a safe place. And I know you may not know each other, but I'm creating this safety around us and amongst each other. So let's right now just kind of take a look at each other, say hi, wave to each other, as there may be some tears flowing. There may be some people may feel anger come up, and you don't have to name it. You don't have to know what specifically that emotion is about. Just it's energy. What's coming is going. Let it move up and out. We don't want to stuff that back into our systems. Release it, okay? Some other things you might experience. Shaking. I did that a lot at the beginning of breathwork and in other healing modalities. It's a way to, again, release that energy. And it's also a way to recalibrate our nervous system. It's like electricity coming out. You may feel cold. My hands and feet tend to get really cold in this practice. And some people may get hot. I've had people on my table when I've done one-on-one practices who are drenched in sweat. So everybody expresses and releases differently. One thing that you may experience, which is one of my favorite things that you get from breathwork, is a very quiet mind. And I like to call it above the thoughts. So it's like you're in a skyscraper looking down at all those cars driving by. The cars are your thoughts, and you're above them. And this, in Sanskrit, they call this samadhi. And samadhi means bliss, one of the interpretations. If those of you who are skilled in the Eastern practices, you'll know that Sanskrit has many meanings for every word. But for our purposes tonight, bliss is what we're going for. And bliss is that quiet mind where the monkey mind, the chatter, is silenced. and you feel like you might be asleep, but you're not quite asleep, you're not quite awake. You're like in this in-between phase. That's samadhi. And some people will realize like they're not breathing because it's also the space between the breath. But just know that your body is very smart and wise, and your autonomic nervous system breathes you all day without you thinking about it. So if you recognize that you are not thinking and not breathing, people do that all the time. They're like, oh my God, I'm not breathing. And then they snap themselves out of that blissful state. So I'm just telling you now, if you recognize that you've stopped breathing and that you've stopped thinking, be like, yeah, I made it. Because meditators, yogis, monks will work their entire lives and sit in meditation to try to get to that space of that quiet mind. And it can happen the very first time in this practice, which is such an amazing gift. Other things can happen. We don't need to go through the entire list. Just know that whatever you experience is perfect. If you have a monkey mind chattering the entire time, that's fine too. You might have an out-of-body experience. You might have answers to some of life's questions. But whatever you experience is absolutely perfect. And even if you feel agitated, just know that you're still getting the benefits of this practice. Your body is being flooded with oxygen. We are alkalizing the body, and you are getting so many physical benefits. So just know that in the next 24, 48, sometimes even 72 hours, you may have some of the things that I'm talking about happen. Like you may have an emotional release the next day, or you may sleep really well tonight, that's actually a pretty common one across the board, is people sleep really well. Did you last time? Yeah.
I was like a baby.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I have a couple clients who have trouble sleeping, and they tell me every time after a breathwork practice, they sleep great. So just know that you'll have that benefit tonight. So I just want to invite everybody to take a moment to close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose, breathing all the way to the bottom of your spine. And a slow open mouth release. Good. Do that again, just letting go of the day. In through the nose. And out through the mouth. Good, letting go of some of that tension. One more time, just like that. Letting it go. Good. So keeping your eyes closed. I want you to think about something that something maybe that you haven't been looking at. Something that you know that's there. Maybe there's been a nagging thought in the back of your mind and you've been like, shh, I don't want to pay attention to you. Is there something that you have maybe intentionally pushed down, buried, ignored, that is asking for your attention? And sometimes physical pain in the body is just the body trying to get our attention to alert us that there's something that we need to look at, maybe emotionally, mentally, spiritually. So at home, to just take a moment and think about that. Asking the unconscious mind to come forward. Show me, what do I need to see that I haven't been looking at? Good. And I invite you all to take on that intention tonight for this practice. Show me what I need to look at. Show me what I need to see about myself, or maybe about somebody else, or about my life. Maybe there's something that you need to change that you've been afraid of. But just know that you're in a safe space and knowledge can't hurt us. Self-awareness is here to help us. Good. So just go ahead and lock that in. You can gently open your eyes. And let's go ahead and get ourselves settled and laying down. If anybody needs to use the restroom at home or in person, do that now. Otherwise, go ahead and lay down. We don't want anything, a pillow behind your head. So if you have a pillow behind your head, make it very thin. We want to keep the airways open. But usually, like when we have pillows, we're crunching that. So we want them to be able to bring in the most oxygen into our bodies. Also, if you have a sore lower back, putting something under your knees is helpful. And in person, if you need something, I've got extra yoga mats or extra blankets that you can put under your knees. And if anybody needs a blanket for on top of your body, raise your hand and I can get that for you. Okay, great. So everybody at home, go ahead and get settled in. Your eyes. Oh, okay. Do you need something on your knees? You good? Okay. All right. Are you good? Do you want a blanket on top of you?
Oh, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Okay, good. Oh, I forgot to teach you how to do the breath, but you can do it from laying down. Sorry. So this is a very gentle breath practice. There's a lot of different breath patterns. There's a lot of different forms of breath work and pranayama out there. This is like the waves of the ocean. I like to say it's a very feminine style breath. It's like receiving in the air, receiving in the breath, the oxygen, receiving in spirit. So it's all open mouth. So we're going to open our mouths and breathe into our belly, into our chest, and out through the mouth. Into the belly, chest, and out. Good. And I know your mouth may get a little dry. That's fine to go ahead and, wet your tongue, wet your lips if you need to. We will do that for 7 minutes, and then I will ask you to inhale as much air as you can into your lungs and then hold. And so you'll hold your breath for about a minute. I will call a release, but if you need to release before that, go ahead. We don't want you to struggle. And then after you release, you're just going to breathe normally for another 60 seconds or so and allow your body to recalibrate. And then we'll go back into the 3-part breath. So 3-part breath, hold, relax. And we'll do that whole chunk 3 times. And then I'll invite you to relax into Shavasana after the last breath hold. Shavasana, for those of you who are not familiar with the yoga posture, is corpse pose. And Shavasana is just where we relax and allow our body to integrate. And in yoga, they say it's the most important posture so that our body can integrate all the work that we've just done. So blessings on your journey all. And at home, if I didn't mention, I will be doing energy. Energy knows no time or space, so you can experience that at home as well. So let's go ahead and start, not with the music quite yet, but we're going to start with the breath first. So again, open mouth, breathing into the belly, into the chest, and out through the mouth. Nice and gentle. Beautiful. Take a big inhale, filling your lungs, and when you get to the top, hold. And release. Relax, breathe normally. And return to the 3-part breath. Open mouth, belly, chest. Release. And on your next inhale, fill up. Big inhale, filling your lungs with air, and hold. And when you get to the top, take one more sip and hold. And release. Good, relax. Breathe normally. And last round, return to the 3-part breath. This time, see if you can breathe 10% more air into your belly on that first inhale. Allowing your unconscious mind to open and to show you gently, lovingly, what it is that you need to see to heal, to grow, to progress, to love yourself a little more deeply, to be a little more accepting and compassionate of yourself and others. Where can you let the light in to that shadow? next inhale, fill your lungs with air and hold. And release. Relax. Surrender into Shavasana. Breathe normally and just let go. Float away. And take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Again, coming back into the body, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, coming back to the earth plane. And when you're ready, slowly, gently roll onto either side into fetal position. Good. Another deep breath, coming back, coming back, coming back. And you may slowly, gently, lovingly make your way to a seat. You're welcome to keep your eyes closed if that's more comfortable. Beautiful, beautiful work, everyone. Thank you so much for showing up for yourself. Thank your unconscious mind. Thank your body for cooperating. Thank yourselves for taking the time for this sacred practice, for giving yourself some time to breathe, literally and figuratively, to step away from your normal routine and to create space within yourself. I trust you will all sleep very well. I just have a few announcements before we depart. Again, this is Universal Spirit Center. For those of you who are new to this beautiful community, they accept donations. So this is my gift to the community. I do this the last Wednesday of every month. There is a donation box in the back if you have cash. And I think, no, Sarah, if you can post it, they do a Venmo also. What else? My name is Tobey, guys, if I didn't mention that before. I am, in addition to being a breathwork practitioner, I am a soul expansion coach, and I work with the blocks in the unconscious mind to help heal at a very deep level, including generational and past life trauma. Trauma is a specialty of mine, and I love helping people to release pains from their past and live a different lifestyle that they didn't even know possible. And it is possible for everyone. So if you'd like to speak more about that, I'd love to talk to you. I do this practice with Reiki and Huna energy one-on-one as well. If anybody's interested in that, you can reach out to me. For those of you at home, you can find me on my website at tghealingworks.com. And then you can catch me here the last Wednesday of every month. Otherwise, if you'd like to be added to my mailing list, reach out to me on my website. There it is, thank you. I'm putting together another breathwork event with another facilitator of mine who is, she also works with the unconscious mind, and she does affirmations and DJ things, and we're using some silent disco wireless headphones, and we're going to be doing that in some interesting locations. So if you're interested in anything further, make sure to sign up on my mailing list. And otherwise, you can catch me here the last Wednesday of every month. Thank you again. Thank you to Universal Spirit Center. Thank you, Sarah and Al, and Bob at home. And thank you, everybody, for showing up. Blessings. Have a beautiful evening.